So welcome everyone. I am Juan del Rio from Ecolis, and together with Janelle and Chiara from the Ecolis team, we are going to be co-facilitating the webinar, this session, and also together with representatives from the 5 hubs in the 5 countries, in Croatia, in Finland, in France, in Spain, and in Portugal. Then you will have some time to meet them too. It's a great pleasure to start this orientation webinar to basically try to explain in detail about the Pathfinders call, about the Regenerative Communities Fund, and to try to solve any doubts, any questions that you may have. We are aware that English is not the first language for mostly everyone in this room. So part of the webinar is going to be in English, and another part when we will go to the breakout rooms, to the smaller groups, it will be in the 5 national languages. So yeah, just to mention that. So it's going to be a multilingual online webinar. And what else as an introduction? We're recording this session too, because then it will be used as a resource, and whoever couldn't join today or whoever needs to leave earlier will have all this information. It's going to be a resource for the whole call. And yeah, I think all of you know Zoom very well. You can use the chat, you can write there. If you have any comment, any question, Kiara will be supporting you there. And also, I would invite you, if you can, to turn on your camera. Like this, we can see everyone's face. I think that's really good. We have people from many different countries at the moment in this call, so it's yeah. I want to celebrate also that. I think, Janelle, I may start by sharing my screen and we jump right. No, let's go. Let's do the quick check-in. We are many people. We are 30 already. So our proposal, and Kara has already written in the chat, would be to use the chat as a way to, or as a place to do a short introduction. And then we would like to invite you to share who you are, like your name, the organization name, if you are part of any organization, the country, and also if you have any specific intention for today. Why are you here? What brought you here? You could be doing many different things, but you decided to be here at this moment. So if you could please write into the chat, name, place, organization, and what brought you here. And maybe people from the hubs, like Johnny, Jorge, Anna, you can try to translate that into your own languages too. Like this, that maybe can help. So Jose, maybe you can put it in Portuguese. Anna, you can put it in Finnish, and so on. If there's people that doesn't understand English from any of the countries. So yeah, let's use maybe 2-3 minutes to do that. So you see, a lot of people is writing there. I invite you also to read everyone's responses on the chat. It's very exciting. They're from so many interesting communities and projects all over Europe, and everyone decided to be here. So yeah, that's good. We're 35 already. So we have Chana from Portugal, we have Judith from Spain, Jorge from Spain too, Paula Lapa from Portugal, Arthur from France, Moika from Finland. Yeah. And so for the ones that you just arrived, we invite you to write into the chat your name, your place, organization, and what brought you here. Just maybe 2-3 words. Okay. Okay, really good. So thank you everyone for that. You can continue writing the chat. There's quite a lot of information today, so I think it's good if I jump into that. The presentation will be shared with everyone and the recording too. Okay, so don't worry, you don't need to take notes. Everything's gonna be there. So yeah, I'm gonna a moment. I want to screen. Mm, 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 Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Petra. I'm gonna. So, the Regenerative Communities Fund and the call for Pathfinders. This is the third call of the Regenerative Communities Fund. And as we will see, the Regenerative Communities Fund is now being funded through the Funding for Futures. So yeah, let's start with the presentation. The outline will be first, I will briefly introduce what's the Regenerative Communities Fund. Uh, Briefly, I will talk about the Funding for Futures project, and then we will dive quite deep into the call for Pathfinders, which is the main goal for today. I will do it together with Janelle. Then we will have a little space to meet the 5 national hubs. So each of the 5 national hubs, the representatives will have just 2 or 3 minutes to talk briefly about who they are and what they are doing, how they are implementing the Regenerative Communities Fund in each of the 5 countries. Then we will go to breakout rooms. That would be a space to basically discuss in your national language about the call, to ask any question that you may have, to talk with the hub representatives. Also, Janelle, Kiara, and I will be moving around. So any question that you may have, it could be discussed there. And after that, we will come back to the plenary, to the main group. We will come back to English too, and we still will have some time to make questions, to share also what happened in the groups, anything that we need and is useful for us. So let's jump into the content. So the Regenerative Communities Fund was launched in 2024 by Ecolis and is the first fund specifically focused on supporting regenerative communities in Europe through funding, capacity building, and collaboration opportunities. It's a long-term initiative and is piloted currently through the FFF project that I will talk briefly now. It aims to catalyze local citizen engagement and community-led initiatives. It's providing seed funding, training, collaborative opportunities, and developing and strengthening an ecosystem with national hubs that they are here present today, demonstrators, 15 demonstrators, 2 to 4 in each of the 5 countries that are being selected at the moment, and then 100 pathfinders that will be selected through 2 different calls, and this is the first call of them. Okay, so we are kind of building a network in each of the 5 countries, and you can see the 4 different calls of the program here below. The Funding for Futures project is an initiative focused dedicated in providing capacity building and financial support to civil society organizations. Is focused on climate justice, inclusive, transformative climate justice. It started in 2024 and will end in 2028. It's a European funded program through the European Commission, the DEAR program, Development, Education and Awareness Rising program. And it currently has 6 partners. Can Europe, Climate Action Network, Can Europe, Climate Action Network International, Ecolis, Women Engage for a Common Future, Generation Climate Europe, and Christian Blind Mission. Sorry for the abbreviations. We are using acronyms the whole time, and I know it can be a bit confusing, but here you have all the links also, if you want. And by the way, I didn't mention that. Most of you may already know Ecolis, but just as a short summary, Ecolis is the European Network for Community-Led Initiatives on Climate Change and Sustainability. It's a meta-network legally based in Brussels, but present in more than 20 countries. Indeed, the whole team, Janelle, Chiara, I, and the rest of the team, we're about 20, we are spread all over Europe. Okay, so we are focused on catalyzing and supporting climate action at community level. So this would be kind of a summary of the Regenerative Communities Fund and the Funding for the Futures. But what about the Pathfinders? So I'm going to stop talking for a second and let's watch this short.
Pathfinders don't just follow the road. Pathfinders listen to the land, to the people, to the quiet pulse of what is emerging. They start the path where others might only imagine the destination, with small steps, uncertain at first, but brave, because they know change begins here, in the shared sense of belonging. Pathfinders see regeneration not as a dream, but as daily action. They are community builders, keepers of hope, guardians of the stories yet to come. They turn challenges into opportunities, and differences into strengths. Every step finds courage and community. Together, we can walk further. Join the movement. Regenerate the future.
Okay, so I hope you like the video. It's been made with a lot of heart and care from our team, external supporters, and probably you have already watched it. So yeah, this is a summary of what we understand by a Pathfinder. And this is, okay. And are you seeing my screen? No?
Yeah, we still see the video page screen, and now we see the, yes.
Because I don't know exactly what happened and something more. So, what is a Pathfinder? The way in which we define Pathfinder communities for this call and basically are basically innovative and inclusive community-led initiatives working on climate action and regeneration, that they have certain characteristics. They are not, they don't need to be projects that have been working for many years. You know, they can be projects that they're getting started, but always they need to be small scale and locally rooted organizations that are working closely with their communities, and they are seeking to strengthen or expand their efforts. So basically, local groups, local communities, place-based. They need to contribute to just and inclusive climate transition, to community-led regeneration, resilience, environmental justice initiatives, etc. They are here and they want to participate. They are eager to learn, exchange, and build capacity together through this program, peer-to-peer support, collaboration opportunities, capacity building, and many other things. And they empower and support communities who experience also marginalization. We will talk a little bit more about that too. But we want to encourage with this call, and also as part of the Funding for Futures program, applications from communities and organizations that are either led or working with or serving different types of marginalized groups. This call for proposals has a few specific objectives: to implement local citizen-led action through small-scale experimental and local community-led initiatives, to take part in capacity building, training, and coaching, to connect with the wider community-led initiatives movement in Europe, through Ecolis, through the Regenerative Communities Fund, to build alliances, to strengthen collective influence, to contribute to share campaigns and network-wide storytelling, amplifying community voices and raising visibility, and to reach and meaningfully engage with communities with higher level of deprivation and systemic exclusion. So in a summary, for us, through the Regenerative Communities Fund, the Pathfinders community will become part of the Ecolis network, which is very diverse in terms of members and CLI actors, and they will represent inspiring examples of how grassroots initiatives, transformative community-led initiatives, can showcase their impact, aligning with the Ecolis mission. I'm gonna talk briefly about which are the required activities for the Pathfinders. By the way, all this information is further detailed in the call for proposals, okay? So, and the links are here in this presentation that will be shared, etc. But all these are required, they're basically the required activities that we imagine the Pathfinders to be developing through the project. First, and let's say the most important one, is to implement your local project. Okay, so you will have 4,000 to support your project, to carry out your small scale project activities. It can include many different things, no? But that money will be to support you in carry out your project. To learn and connect through different trainings and webinars and networking activities that will happen through the project. So we expect that you learn and connect actively, that you engage in these activities. You will need to organize local policy dialogue, to host in your community a local policy dialogue. If you are become part as a Pathfinder, we will explain you in further detail, but basically it's a community event to involve someone from your local government and to connect that to other events that we will organize as part of the European Year of Sustainable Communities. To share your stories, this is very important. It will be 50 Pathfinder communities in the first call and another 50 in the second. And we really want to harvest these stories from all of you. And finally, support the Just Transition campaign that we are developing to share it in your networks, to help amplify the campaigning work that we're doing at Ecolis. So this will be the main required activities. And I think I'm gonna stop there, and I'm gonna pass it to my colleague Janelle. I can continue using the slides if you want, or you want to share it by yourself.
No, that's perfect. Thanks, Juan. If you can just keep sharing
Okay.
and you go, and I'll just ask you to skip ahead. So you may have already seen this. These are the eligibility criteria for those applicants who are looking to apply for the Pathfinder Communities Call. Obviously, we would like to see alignment with Equilis's values and objectives and community-led support, and with the FFF sub-granting and campaigning objectives. But alongside that, you have to be, the applicants must be either legally registered non-profit organization or a community group that is not yet formally registered. So if you're a registered organization, you have to be a CSO or an association of CSOs constituted according to your national law in your country. And if you're a community group that is not yet formally registered, you must agree at the application stage to sign the Declaration on Group Representation. And if selected after the evaluation process, you will sign an agreement with a fiscal host to host the funding for you as you're unregistered. I'm sure you all know you have to be established and working in one of these 5 countries: Croatia, Finland, France, Portugal, and Spain. You must be working with local place-based communities and not be a current or past beneficiary of a grant of the European Commission's DEAR program, not have the financial, administrative, or operational capacity to compete directly for EU funding under this. I'm not going to read all of this out, but this EC DEAR 2022 call for proposals. If you're not sure about that, please reach out to us, but it's quite clear if you follow exactly that link, or if you follow exactly that those numbers and letters, and can trace back to any funding that you've previously received, you should be able to realize whether or not you have any kind of experience with that funding. And so we expect you to declare that you have not received and are not expecting to receive financial support from this fund. We want you to ensure that the financial support, so the €4,000, will be used for the action and it will align with the thematic priorities of this call. So those that Juan pointed out, all of those objectives and activities. And you must comply with EU due diligence requirements. And we can help with the support on understanding what that means. And alongside us with Equilease and also with the hubs, we can help support with some of the administration of that. Please skip ahead, Juan. So the application process. Please, first call of port is to read the call for proposals very, very carefully. See if you're eligible, see if your project aligns. And then if you're very happy and you want to go ahead and apply, great. This is what we need you to do. We would like you to download. All of the links are available online and in the call for proposals, but this is what you need to do is download and complete the Annex 1, which is the narrative proposal. This you can submit in English, or you can submit in the national language of your country and English. The English version of that can be translated using an AI translation or other ethical translation tool, but you must submit an English version alongside. So whichever you're more comfortable with, you're able to do. So the narrative proposal can be done only in English or the national language plus English translation. Annex 2, the budget proposal must be submitted in English. You will also have to sign a declaration on exclusion criteria and a declaration of honor. Those must be submitted in English, but we will provide a translation or a description of the information within those in your national languages. They're still being translated, but they'll be available very, very soon. So they must be submitted in English, but you will have some of the information in your national language. The declaration on group representation, that is only if you're an unregistered group, must also be submitted in English. More information and more detail is available in the frequently asked questions document, which we will link to also. Then you submit your application via the online form. That's a Monday form, like monday.com portal. That will also be only in English, available in English, but we will provide some translation assistance with that as well. And then you click send. And if you have any issues, you can reach out to us, but it should all be quite straightforward. We've tried to make the form as user-friendly as possible. The application support. So we have this information webinar. We're all here today. That's the 4th of December. That's what we're currently in. So hopefully we can help with any questions today. We will also have an office hours, which is just a more of an open session where you can come and ask a question that hasn't been answered in the frequently asked questions document or something that you're just not sure of before you submit. That'll be on the 14th of January between 11 and 12 Central European time. And I know that the hubs will also host their own office hours in national languages, but those are still to be confirmed. But as soon as we have that information, it'll be available on the website. Also, if you have any other further questions, you can contact this rcf@equilease.eu email address. But as you are well aware, it is over a holiday time. So between between the 17th of December and the 11th of January, we will have a little bit of a limited capacity to reply. So please be patient with us when we respond, maybe a little bit later than you would like, but we will get back to you. Okay. The deadline is the 26th of January, just before midnight. And there is another link there. Please click ahead to the next screen, Juan. And just for your information, this is what the selection criteria would look like. So when we go to do the evaluation and selection of the successful projects and proposals, this is what we'll be looking for. So 30% of the kind of yeah, what we're looking for the successful groups would be their relevance to just transition, climate action, marginalized groups, and alignment with the priorities of the national hubs in those countries. So that's 30% kind of weighting, 20% on their impact. So your impact on communities, innovation, scaling, potential to scale up. 20% on the coherence of the design. So we want to see a well laid out plan, how you plan to use the money, maybe an activities plan, how, dates, if you have them already and how clear that looks, 20% on that. 15% on your capacity and credibility. So we do understand it. You may be unregistered groups, you may not have a lot of experience, but we would like to see that you've thought through how the project will sort of maintain itself, how you work as a group. Do you have any sort of financial management systems in place that, and that doesn't need to be something extremely formal, but just we want to be able to see that you're going to be able to manage the funds well and that it's a feasible project. So you have really thought through the costs for an event or the costs of materials for the project that you're running. And then finally, 15% for the added value for funding for our futures. So how it adds value to the overall project and the consortium at large. So the need, the benefit, and sustainability. And we want to see also that the grant would be transformative for you as well as beneficial. So next slide, please. So finally, here's a quick timeline. So you can see we launched on the 24th. We're here today on the 4th of December at the orientation webinar, and we have the office hours on the 14th, and then we have the closing of the call on the 26th of January. Then you see between the end of January and the beginning of April is when we will be doing the selection and grants preparation, so evaluation process. And then we will be hoping to start collaboration with the successful groups from April, sorry. So that is the plan. On the right here, there's even a little bit more information. Find out on our website. I put in yellow there that we will be adding the recording to this session, so that'll be available there again on the slide. Please join the open office hour if you still have some questions. There is a link to the frequently asked questions document, and there is a link to our email address for any final questions too. So hopefully that has been useful. I think the next slide is we're going over to the hubs, but yes, just to say, let us know if you have any questions. This is what this session's for, so ask away, and if not, we're here for you throughout this application process. I'm going to pass back to you, Juan, for the next stage.
Thank you so much, Janelle. I'm fully aware that it's been a lot of information, but don't worry, we are here for that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and while I do that, I'd like to invite our colleagues from the 5 hubs, not any specific order, to talk for a few minutes, not much, but just about the hub itself, about how are you approaching your work in your country, and present yourself like this. People that may apply to this call, they know some of the people in the country that we'll be collaborating with. And as I've said, we have 5 hubs. We're working in 5 countries at the moment. Croatia, we have the 3 our hub. Then in Finland, we have Dialotus. In France, the collective pour une transition citoyenne. Portugal, the Red Rural Ecosystem. And in Spain, Ecoredes. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And this, we can see everyone's faces again. It's good because you're still here. You haven't left after 25 minutes talk, which is great. Thank you so much. So who would like to jump? I don't know. I see Ana is there, Jorge is there, Jose is there. So please, yes. And then you pass it to one of your colleagues from the house. So yeah.
I can start if you want. I'm here instead of Zola. He's in charge of this project. I'm from Zmag, from Croatia. I see familiar faces, so I think it will be nice to see each other when we are inside of our little hub potential. So I'm from Zmag. We're doing permaculture, but we are here as a national hub from Croatia. We also working on communities, on natural building, seed collection and saving, etc., etc. But let's say it's sustainable development and permaculture in general. Uh, so I will pass it to Jose.
Hola, buen dia. So I'm Jose. I'm originally from Spain, but I'm representing a Portuguese hub. I hope that's okay for the Portuguese people that is here. We are from Regenerativa. We are an integral cooperative in the village of São Luís, and we call this the rural ecosystem. Some people that is here have already been touched by this movement. The red rural stands for regenerating, rejuvenating, reactivating, and reconnecting rural landscapes in Portugal and also in Spain. We have a partnership around Iberia. And yeah, this is what we are doing at the moment. We are willing to engage with more people, and this possibility to share funds and to create a community of practice in Portugal, it's amazing. So I hope a lot of Portuguese organizations get this and we create an amazing network. And I will pass it to Jorge.
Thank you, Jose. Buenos dias. Good morning, everyone. Very good to see you. So I'm Jorge from the cooperative Altequio. I'm also part of Ecoredes. So for this regenerative communities fund, we presented a consortium of a working team with people from different networks. So there's representatives from the Spanish Ecovillage Network, from the Transition Network, from agroecology networks, and we built in to make this kind of regenerative ecosystem. So we've been very active this year, and I will pass the word also to Johnny, that is one of my colleagues at Ecoredes.
Okay, I don't have much more to add, but yeah, we are a growing network of networks, and in expansion now. Actually, we created this project for this hub, but we are super excited because this is bringing a lot of new opportunities besides the things related with the hub. So yeah, happy to help all the Spanish organizations willing to apply. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass it then to Anna from Finland.
Hi, greetings from Finland, and I'm happy to see all the Finns also here. My name is Anna, and I'm representing Jalotus. Jalotus is Transition Movement Finland, and our mission is to help people transition their lives into sustainable and more meaningful ones. In addition to that, we also help our peer organizations and small organizations to do the same job. And with this possibility that this project gives us, we are trying to make our impact, nationwide impact, visible in Finland. And this is a new way to address the climate change and nature crisis. So we are starting a new mycelium in Finland with this. And I really hope that we get as much project with this as we can to Finland to make it bigger and more impactful work. But nice to see you here. Thank you. And who was the fifth one? I don't recognize. Help me, one.
I can try to help you, Anna. We're looking for the French hub representative. Janelle and Kara, I don't see here David or Florent, but
I saw David. He has his
okay,
camera
David is.
off. I hope you
There are
can
so many people,
speak,
so I
David.
don't know.
Yeah.
David, are you there? Maybe he had to
David is
step
there.
away.
No, I see David without the camera, but
Yeah,
he's-
maybe he had to just step away for a moment.
Well, we will create in any case the group. David and Florent, they are the two people mainly working, representing and supporting the French hub. That is developed through the Collectif pour une transition citoyenne, which is already a meta network in France, and they are doing amazing work in terms of transition processes and many other things. But David, you are not there, no? Okay, so I think that's it as a short presentation, and maybe I can share a little bit what we will do now in the breakouts. Okay, we can look at that. David, if you are hearing me or anyone from the French hub is there, just let me know, okay, to pass it. So now the idea will be to open 5 different breakout groups for each of the 5 hubs. The aim is that we can use the national languages there, and basically the hubs there can explain a little bit more about the work, and also you can ask any questions that you have about the code itself and about how it would be or to work as a Pathfinder in that specific country in collaboration with the hub and so on. So basically have a dialogue to get to know each other and to learn more about the core and anything you need, anything that can emerge. So that's the idea. I don't know, Janelle or Chiara, if is there anything else that you think we should add? I think it's quite pretty straightforward, but yeah.
Just a note, maybe I think you did say this about taking some notes.
Yes.
The hub representatives, we have a link. We can send you the link to this presentation where you can add your notes directly into the presentation slides. Otherwise, make a note yourself and then share those with us afterwards, because any questions that come up in your room may also be relevant for others. And so we can harvest those and put them onto our frequently asked questions document. So please take a note of any questions or something that comes up. I am positive it will be relevant for everybody. It won't just probably be country specific. So yes, just to take a note of that, and I'll put a link. I'll send you the link to the presentation if you want to do it directly.
Yeah, I'm also sending them in the chat. And the breakout rooms should be ready, right? Can you see them?
So if you go to the 4 squares along the bottom panel, there are 4 squares, and it should say breakout rooms. And you will see Chiara has set it up via country. So you can assign yourself to your country. You should just be able to click join. It's a blue button, and you just click join to get in. I see several of you are already doing that. Fantastic.
Yeah, and you do it on your own, basically.
You do it on your own.
Because we don't know exactly what's your country. We could guess a little bit by your name, but it can be dangerous if we start moving you around. So please, just move yourself.
Sorry, can you repeat it, please? I didn't understand.
Of course, of course. There's I just want to check. Do you speak Croatian? Is that your language?
Yes,
Is
Croatian.
someone from Croatia that understands well English that can support me? Because I don't speak any Croatian.
Okay.
But in any case, if you go to the bottom of the window, you will see 4 squares.
Squares, where is squares? Oh my
At
God.
the bottom, you will see 4 squares.
The bottom 4 squares.
Christina,
Yes.
I
Yes.
can add you. Are you going to Croatian room?
Yes,
I
please.
will add you directly.
Thank you very much.
1 second.
Thank you.
And me also to the Croatian room, please.
Who's that? Iris?
Iris, yes.
Iris,
Yes.
I will add you Croatia. You're
Thank
going,
you.
no
Thank
problem.
you. Hey,
You're super welcome. Wow, we have so many people in Portugal, huh? I mean, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna pause. Okay, so welcome back. I hope the breakouts were meaningful and fruitful, and that you had enough time to connect between all of you and to make as much questions as you needed and wanted. Um, so we have 20 more minutes. But by the way, before starting with the questions, could just let's make a kind of quick temperature check about how did it go in the breakouts. Can you just share like this? It went horribly bad, and like this it was great. The breakouts. So can you please just share if it was useful, meaningful? Okay, good to know. Thank you for sharing. And thank you, Janelle and Kiara. We've been there like moving around in different groups. So yeah, I hope it was also helpful. So we have a bit less than 20 minutes. And I think the idea now is to open space for further questions, for maybe sharing a little bit any key insight from the breakout. I don't know. Also, Janelle and Kiara, if there's anything that you want to share in terms of framing this little space. Just 1 second, Daniel. Don't jump ahead. Just wait for a moment until. So I don't know if I'm missing anything or, but if not, we just yeah.
No, I think that's fine. Yeah, we can have this space now, 20 minutes to yeah, if there were questions, I mean, I don't think people are gonna have lots of questions. Maybe not every single one's gonna be answered in these next 20 minutes, and that's okay. That's why we have the email address and you can reach out to the hubs. But maybe if there's something that came out of the room that was a big question for several of the people in the room and you didn't answer it, maybe the hubs or the hosts can also share that question and we can try and answer it here. And please write questions in the chat. We can harvest those. If we don't get to them, we will get to them and add them into the FAQ at some point.
Yeah, and please be mindful of the time, okay? Now, when we make the questions. We may harvest a few of them before replying to. So yeah, over to all of you who would like to use this time together. Daniel, do you want to see your mic on?
I was actually just clapping to that, but since you just a generic, I was reading the call and that, and I didn't see there would be a Brussels event or like an event of the project where we will get everybody together. Do you think that will happen with this?
It will. It will not. It will probably not happen for the Pathfinders because there's not budget to bring 100 Pathfinder communities to Brussels. There's no money for that. There will be online networking events, but not
Well, maybe you stumble upon the money and you can organize it. That was very, very, very valuable for me personally, and then all the talkings I had with everybody else. You know, the fact of being there together was really powerful.
Yeah, yes. Thank you, Danny. Just as a piece of information from the rest, it's just because Danny and maybe a few more people from here, they also participated in the previous program called Communities for Future. So yeah, that's why, and they traveled to Brussels for a shared event. Thank you, Danny. I really encourage you to apply. It would be great to have you here on board. Questions, comments?
Well, I think I have to. Sorry. So I will go just quickly, just to make the comment that we were 18 people in the Portuguese breakout. So that was very hopeful to see so much interest and engagement. There are questions that I could reply and others that maybe are still blurry. So if someone didn't got clear in their answers, you can bring it to the plenary as well. And sorry, I just interrupt Anna and Aline wanted to go first. Sorry.
Yeah, I think Anna and then Alina.
Thank you. I have two questions that came up. One is does the fiscal host with the business ID can be the fiscal host, or does the fiscal host need to be also a non-profitable organization? Was one question which is a big thing for groups that are not organizations already, and then other one is that can one organization apply for multiple ideas, or if there is a Lapland Villages has a parliamentary with villages that belong to it, but they are different organizations. Can they apply? Everyone can apply who is, say, an organization at themselves, or can they? So those were the questions. But I wrote those down also if you didn't understand my English.
Definitely understood. Thank you, Anna. On the first question about fiscal hosts, that's a really good point. We would need to absolutely double check that. But as far as I'm aware, I think the fiscal host should also be a nonprofit. So another nonprofit organization, a social enterprise, nonprofit company, or a cooperative. But Jofi's not here, our finance lead. So I would ask this question to her to be sure. And I'll get back. We'll add that to the FAQ and we'll get back to you. On the other point about multiple applications, you, as far as I'm aware, can apply several times. I don't think it's like a finite, there's an infinite number. You can't just send maybe 100. I think there is a number, but you can apply several times, but only be funded once. So you can only have one successful application be funded for this fund. So yes and no. And I will let you know about the fiscal host point. Unless Juan, you have any more information about that.
No. You reply very well. Very good questions, Anna. And what is coming
Can
to
I?
me is that if you apply from a non-formal organization, like a community group, that I'm just wondering, do you really need, and that could be a question for Jofi, but do you really need to go through another organization to receive the money? So I don't know. We will try to clarify all of that. Okay. Yeah. And then another thing is that also in the Spanish group that I was there, someone asked about could we apply several times, and say yes, there's nothing against that, but I would encourage encourage all of you to try to focus on one, maximum two, like the strongest ideas, not to bring 20 ideas and let's see what happens, for the sake of the whole process. If not, I think Janelle, Kiera, and anyone, we thought about the possibility that one community would apply 7 times or 11 times. Imagine if everyone would do it, we will die in the selection process. But anyway, this is just another comment. So yeah, more questions.
Can I have one?
Please go ahead.
Fiscal thing. Because we have Lara. She's currently in informal group as well. And she asked, can you do that for us? So my question is, can a hub be a financial host for Pathfinder?
Juan, do you want to go? Shall I jump in? In principle, I think so. In principle, I think it's okay. I would need to check again because I think in principle the hub would be able to, but whether or not there is some sort of conflict of interest there because it's within the same fund, we would need to just check that. But in principle, yes, because you're a registered entity in the same country, it should work. But just let us check that nuance with it being exactly the same fund. But that's a great point.
Thank you. Aline and then Costa.
Thank you. Danny's comment about meeting actually made me remember my other question that we didn't get to in the breakout. When looking at the demonstrators call, I remember part of it was being mentor to the Pathfinders that will come after you. So do we already know who are the demonstrators in Spain, and will we be able to meet with them at least, or visit them, or is there already any structured framework for that?
Very, very, very good question. We can't share the names of the demonstrators because we are finalizing the selection process, and that will be made public in a few weeks once everything is formalized. But yeah, one of the key roles of the demonstrators is to support the Pathfinders, and that means that the Pathfinders can use the 4K if they want or they need to visit the project, and they will receive support from them in different ways through the community of practice too. So yeah, definitely yes. And I think that's something really it's a really strong benefit, because all the demonstrators are very strong projects that are very inspiring. So you can learn from them. So yeah. Costa.
Thank you. So we're part of an ecosystem of multiple organizations, and we were wondering what are the different possibilities to apply for this fund. And there are two nuances we would like to know more of. And one is, can two separate organizations apply for the fund for complementary projects? So it would be two separate applications that complement each other? And can two organizations apply for the same fund? So can an application have two hosting organizations altogether?
So I try to reply quickly. It's not possible that two organizations apply for the same grant. It's just a limitation from the program, the European program. We had that challenge already with the hubs, and with the demonstrations and so on, which doesn't mean that you have an organization that applies and then internally, in the way you develop the project or you implement it, you do it collaboratively with many others. But at legal level, let's say the application needs to have one specific host, and there's nothing against two different organizations applying each of them to the grant, and that the project that you apply for is something that can complement. There's nothing written about that. I think it's quite interesting approach, to be honest. I don't know if they would be selected or not, because you also need to be ready that through the process only one of them is selected, and that needs to make sense on its own also. Okay, but yeah, that's what's coming to me. At least I don't know if Janelle or Kara wants to say something. More questions, because I'm looking at the time.
I have another one about deer projects. The association should not be currently, or like they never got funds from deer projects, because we were confused here. Cristina is not sure if Ratavaca was applying something sometime, so she's not sure if they are if they can apply here. So it's like currently association shouldn't be the part of Dear Project, or like in general.
If you're currently part of another Dear program, definitely not. That's for sure. Okay. But I'm not 100% sure if you had it in the past, if you can still apply. I could say yes. Isn't it, Janelle? I think so.
Yes, exactly. So if it's above, beyond the 2022 one. So if you look very specifically at that funny code with the numbers and everything, check that it's relevant to that one. And if it's from before that, it's fine. But if you're currently, then you're probably part of that system, and so you wouldn't be eligible. No.
Thank you.
Alina?
I think Mauricio, any of them.
Sorry.
Maybe let's go to Mauricio first, because Alina has made some questions before. So Mauricio and then Alina. Mauricio, do you wanted to make a question or not? Because I saw your mic on and you made some yes. Okay.
Hello, good morning to all. Sorry, I'm late. Just now I could enter. My question here is it possible to be a company to present the grant together with the clients of this company? Because we have many projects running right now, about 10 projects. All of them, somehow, they are going to be Pathfinders in their own way. Could present it as a company gathering different people around the same subject, or it's just an association or an NGO?
It needs to be a non-profit.
Definitely
needs to be a
non-profit. Always 100% non-profit, yes.
Yes.
All right.
It can be a cooperative, it can be, but it needs to be a non-profit.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alina.
Yeah, there is this new thing on Zoom. If you raise your hand, then it makes you look like you're raising your hand. It's funny, huh? So anyone else? Juan, you're muted, but
Yes, we have 4 more minutes, so let's use the time. Yeah. It seems like we've been able to respond many of them, at least. Maybe.
Great. Lots of, I'm glad, hopefully, if you continue to have questions that come up after this, send them via email. Please check out the FAQ. I think Chiara has put it into the chat here, but it's also in the call for proposals. All of the information we talked about today is in the call for proposals. The slides from today will also be available, and will the recording. So the FAQs constantly being updated. So every question that comes through from any of you on email, we then add it because other people will also have those questions.
Yeah. Well, I think we can wrap up then. We can close here. And I don't know you, but I honestly feel very excited of being here with 40 people from so many different places. So our colleagues from the hubs that we've been already working for almost a year, yeah, it's very exciting. Please read carefully the call for proposals, apply for it, share it in your networks. Let's make this arrive as many people as possible. And yeah, let's hopefully continue the collaboration. So also a lot of friends, faces here that I know from our own journeys. So yeah, it's great to be here and that we can make this happen.
Thank you all so much for coming. I hope you all have a great day. Let's keep in touch. You know where to find us.
Maybe you can put your mic on.
Yeah.
Say goodbye in
You
your
could say
own language.
goodbye. Yeah.
You can hear your voices.
Arrivederci.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Hmm.